This is Tom Blair with Inside Colorado Wrestling. We are visiting CSU Pueblo and taking a tour of the facilities. This is a $3 million facility, which is the top in the D2 in the state. This is where the wrestling team comes to work out for their strength and conditioning. Our second stop is at the training center and recovery center at CSU Pueblo. They have an underground treadmill or underwater treadmill.
What is it? Ice tank.
Ice tank. There's no ice in it. Fashion ice tank to actually be in cold water, extremely cold water. Then into the training room. The CSU football stadium, where the wrestling team does their preseason workout, using the hills and the stadium bleachers. Also using the track for sprints and mile and 2 mile runs. This is the home of the CSU Pueblo Wolfpack. This is Mesa Arena, where they hold their home duels. Right now it's configured for basketball and volleyball, but they take those out and put the center mat and have a light underneath it or over the mat. Walking into the CSU one of the 2 locker rooms that they have, you can see they got the scales here set up with a big screen TV. Bluetooth speaker system set up, very comfortable couches for the guys to relax on, and your standard locker room. This is their second locker room, also set up basically the same as the first one, where the student body can come in before practice, relax, get themselves set and ready to go for practice, get their schoolwork done, watch videos. Now we're walking into the CSU Pueblo wrestling room. It's got 3 full mats, well tempered as far as the temperature in here, which is good for the wrestlers. Can't have it over hot and can't have it over cold for a good workout. And their cardio room with bikes, treadmills.
Academic All-American.
Then we have they're All-Americans. One of the awards that they give out to their athlete for integrity for the season.
Student Center is the Rec Center.
This is part of their student center facilities that the wrestlers can use to work out. Instead of traveling over to the football field or football stadium. And then they have an indoor track where they can use during the season when they get the cold weather. And we have a third weight room that is used only in season for the wrestlers only. This is where they do their main workouts during the season. For their lifting and strength. Walking into the office of Dax Charlies, the head coach of CSU Pueblo.
With assistant coach Trey Page.
Assistant coach
Trey.
Trey, I'm sorry.
I got called worse.
You've been called worse?
Yeah.
Okay. We're in the coach's office of head coach Dax Charlies for Colorado State University Pueblo. How you doing, Coach?
Great. How you doing, Tom?
I appreciate the tour that you've given me. Saw a lot of things that were unique to CSU Pueblo that I hadn't seen before, being my first time down here and not realizing the size of the facility in the wrestling room. Got a few questions to go through with you.
Okay.
So we'll start on what is your coaching background and how did you get involved with being the head coach here at Pueblo?
Pretty good story. I came to CSU Pueblo in 1989, so I've been here for 30 years. I was recruited by Doug Moses to wrestle for, back then, USC, the USC Indians. And after I got finished competing for 5 years, I was the assistant coach for Doug Moses for 7 years. And in 2001, the university made a very critical decision to eliminate our wrestling program from the university. Thank God we've had some really great donors that really love the sport of wrestling, and they decided to bring back wrestling to CSU Pueblo in 2007, and that's when they hired me as the head coach. So I'm going into my 12th season as the head wrestling coach, and couldn't ask for a better job and a better location or a better university to work for.
What was your wrestling background before taking the job? You said you wrestled here at CSU for your college. What did you do in high school?
I'm pretty unique. I'm from Louisiana, and I'm come from John Ehret High School. And the tie-in between John Ehret High School and Louisiana and CSU Pueblo, our first national champion at the NAIA level, his name was Brian Hawkins, and he wrestled at my high school. So Doug Moses got 2 national champions from a little school and from Marrero, Louisiana, and that's the history.
Okay. Were you a state champ, or were you? What are your credentials?
Oh yeah, I won 2 state championships in Louisiana, one in folk style and one in freestyle, and I only wrestled 3 years in high school. Actually, I only wrestled 6 months when I was in high school. My sophomore, junior, and senior year, I was actually a football player that converted to wrestling, and fell in love with wrestling instead of playing football.
Louisiana is not known for their wrestling background. How tough is the competition in Louisiana compared to competition at high school level here in college that you see?
Well, I have a different philosophy about location of wrestlers. Certain spots across the country have a hotbed of wrestling, but as far as just because you're from a certain spot doesn't really mean that you're good or bad. I look for the work ethic, the kid's attitude, and his potential to become a champion in college. So just because you're from, say, Pennsylvania, California, doesn't mean you're going to be good. You have to have the passion and the drive to be able to want to wrestle in college to be successful.
Okay. You'd even take a kid from Vermont if he had a good work ethic, huh?
Yeah, I don't discriminate on any of our wrestlers from where they're from. It's kind of the same expectation is set on any student athlete that comes to this university. We expect it to work hard, we expect it to do the right things, and we expect it to win. So to me, it doesn't matter where you're from.
I brought Vermont up because that's where I'm from, and I moved out here in '95 after wrestling in high school there, and then going to D3 school in Boston. Vermont has only 22 high school teams that have wrestling in the whole state, but they have one of the toughest teams in the Northeast area, New England, Mount Anthony. They've won, last I checked, was 30 state championship team trophies in a row, which is I think 1 or 2 behind the national record.
Awesome.
So going back to CSU Pueblo, How was your finish last year in the 2018-2019 season?
Well, in 2018-19, we had a dual record of 11-5. We took second in the RMAC, and we took fourth in our regional tournament. We took 34th at the national tournament. We had one regional champ and 4 national qualifiers. We had a great dual season, but we didn't finish. We didn't finish where we were expecting. That our coaching staff thought we should be able to finish. So that's kind of what our focus is this year, is to finish the job.
What do you see what some of the problems were of not finishing last year?
You know, we had some injuries with a couple of kids that we were fighting through right there at the end of the season, and then we had just wrestling. There was some tough competition, and we've beaten some of the kids that we lost to, and the tide turned right there at the end of the season. So we just got to do a better job in finishing our season.
Do you think the RMAC made a good decision in crowning the championship by dual wins instead of going to their usual format where they had individual tournaments at the end of the season, which was usually a week before the regional tournament?
I like the dual championship for the RMAC. I think it's better for the wrestlers' health that we don't have to wrestle RMAC tournament, and that we can put more emphasis on our duels, which will create a better fan experience. So yeah, I'm in favor of the dual format to win an RMAC championship.
What do you have for wrestlers coming back from last season?
Yeah, we have DeAndre Brufrell. He's a 133-pounder. He's our regional champ and national qualifier. He has one season left. We have Isaiah Diggs, our 157-pound, who is a national qualifier. Isaiah Diggs. Diggs. Yeah.
You said that. Oh,
Isaiah Diggs, yeah. We have Isaiah Diggs. Excuse me, but my assistant coach is trying to correct me what he was wrong. We have Isaiah Diggs.
Well, that's what they usually do, right?
Mm-hmm. Isaiah Diggs at 157 pounds, national qualifier. He's returning for us, and he's also part of our football program. And Josiah Williams is a 149-pounder who's returning. Both of those guys, one would be a junior, one would be a senior. And then we have a freshman heavyweight that wrestled for us last year. His name is Gavin Nye. He's from California. And those 4 guys are the returning wrestlers from last year's team.
In the paper, the local paper here on Pueblo, the staff writer Marcus Hill has been doing a lot of articles on the school and on the teams in Pueblo. I noticed that there's quite a few Pueblo guys on your team. Does that help with the community?
We will see. We'll have 9 wrestlers on our team this year that are from the city of Pueblo and from multiple high schools here. I believe I have a really good relationship with most of the coaches here in Pueblo. Over the last 30 years, I've been in every single one of their wrestling rooms, provided camps, just a lot of leadership as far as what direction that Pueblo youth wrestling needs to go. And I issue a challenge to Pueblo to get these kids to be successful at the college level. They're doing an excellent job right now. Pueblo County and Pueblo East win high school state championships with their wrestling teams. I'm really looking forward to these kids being successful at the college level.
What do you have for incoming class for wrestlers? I know you just mentioned that you have some incoming Pueblo wrestlers, but what other wrestlers do you have coming in?
Well, we have a California transfer by the name of Ruben Garcia. He's coming in projected about 165 pounds. He was a California, placed second in California state championships. He just took second at the California JUCOs He wrestled for a Division II school and did pretty well. And we have a kid by the name of Brendan Kelly. He's from Indianapolis. Got him slated in about 174 pounds. He's got 2 years of D2 experience. He wrestles some really good competition. And then we have a kid from Canada transferring in that won the Canadian National Championship in freestyle at 125 pounds.
Is that Little? Who's that from Canada?
His name is Parker McBride. So we get, and then with those guys, or like our transfers, and then the rest of the kids we got coming in are freshmen. So it's kind of building for the future. And I'm not going to give any of the freshmen a lot of props yet. You know, they need to get in here and prove themselves. But I think we have a good core group of kids from Pueblo and from around the United States that fell in love with our university and our wrestling program and believe in what we're doing. So I'm excited to see those seeds grow once they get here.
I noticed you made the statement you don't really want to give the freshmen props. Talking with other coaches and stuff, I feel that freshmen coming in, they may be a big fish in their state or in their hometown, but once they step onto the college scene, they come in as the small fish in the pond, per se. Having to grow and learn the experience of the different style, different culture of wrestling at the college level. What do you see are the importance for the freshmen?
Oh, to do the small things right. They need to buy in, and they need to come in. They need to check their ego at the door. We have had every year we have kids that have won high school state championships from Colorado, and they have to not come in here thinking, okay, they already won the state championship. That's good enough. I'm looking for kids that want to win a national title. You know, so to me, being successful in college is a couple of things. You know, one, you want to get your degree. Two, you gotta become an All-American. You know, you gotta get on the podium, top 8 in the country, and you know, winning at the national level is what's important. You know, and we'll take our local kids and we expose them to wrestling across the country. And what's unique now is a lot of kids in high school are getting that exposure. So the learning curve of some of the younger guys in high school coming to college, they are more ready than we have been in the past. So it's not unique to get one of these guys to actually make our team and actually start for us. So I'm interested and excited to see some of the local kids be able to come into our program and try to make our team. You know, last year's team, we didn't have any local kids on our team. So I'm excited to see if these guys can actually crack our lineup and start for us.
You know, when you talk about lineup, you have 10 weight classes, so you bring in a pool of 20 to 30 wrestlers. Some of the guys are going to be sitting on the sidelines and watching maybe their fellow teammates crack the lineup. What do you think they need to do while they're sitting on the sides, as per se, looking in?
Well, at CSU Pueblo, we have a system here where we train year round, and there's different stages that we go through, you know, and they just need to buy into our coaching staff. I think we have one of the better coaching staffs in the country with Trey Page, who I just recently hired this year as a full-time coach. And then we have another assistant coach, Ray Hall. Then we have a guy that's been with me since the beginning. His name is Mike Rump. And then we have Garrett Jones is one of our other volunteer coaches. So we have a very experienced coaching staff that's been together for a minimum of 4 years now, and we are actually clicking really well. We're comfortable, and the kids kind of feed off of that. So the expectation is set, systems in place. We know what we're looking for. We know what direction we're going, and we just trying to make sure we have the right kids that, and I believe we do, to get us to the next step.
Going to the next step and the next level, what are your season goals and what are your expectations for your staff and for your team?
Well, our goals every year, they really don't change. You know, the first thing is we want to win the RMAC, we want to win the region, and we will win the national championship. And we also like to have our team GPA and a minimum of 3.2 overall GPA for our team. And that's kind of like concrete, and that won't change in this program. I'm not going to lower our goals or expectations. That's what we shoot for every year.
Okay. Trey, I understand this is your first year here. What brought you to Colorado?
What brought me to Colorado was just the atmosphere of this team and the culture of this team. I went to Labette Community College with Ray Hall, and then I was actually recruited by Dax. Didn't really work out for me to come here, but I liked what he was saying. I liked his approach to his coaching, so I wanted to come back and coach with him after my career was done.
Okay. Speaking of your career, how did you do in your career?
My career went pretty good. I started my career at Labette Community College. Ended up getting second my first year there at nationals at heavyweight, and was on the team that won 2 national championships in a row. Ended up going to Fort Hays for Division II, and then got 3rd in the country at heavyweight as a senior. So it went pretty well for me.
Okay. What do you think you bring to the table to CSU Pueblo?
I think I bring a really good attitude, a positive attitude day in and day out to this program. I think I complement Dax very well because he's more old school approach. He's get in and get after it. I'm more of kind of slow it down, think a little bit. So we complement a lot each other very well. And I bring a lot of the mental training aspect to it. I'm big on the mental training. I think we can get our guys to be physically the toughest and the mentally toughest in the nation, and that's going to help us win a lot of matches.
What group of kids are you going to be working with? I assume you being a heavyweight, you're going to be working with the heavyweight kids.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick to beating up our heavyweight for the most part, Gavin and I, but mainly the upper weights, and then doing mental training with everybody on our team, including our coaches, talking to them about what we can do differently, and just trying to help the guys every chance I can.
You going to show them anything new, like the heavyweight shuffle?
I might. I'm going to try to teach him a few things to get his feet moving, get his big butt moving.
Okay. Well, I welcome you to the state and to CSU Pueblo. Both you and Coach Dax, good luck in the season. And I appreciate you letting Inside Colorado Wrestling come down and take a look at your facilities and videotape your facilities and interviewing both you guys.
Thank you. We appreciate it.